Now then, here's a cautionary tale. Do you remember this AEG drill that I replaced the lithium batteries in? I took them out of a Dyson battery vacuum cleaner. So I was using this and it's great, I love it. And I don't let it get to the point where the battery management switches off. Because I have a feeling that is the start of, if you continually let it switch it off before you start charging them, then I think you've got a huge amount of current flow, and at some point that board packs up. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Anybody wants to have a discussion about that, that's wonderful. So I plugged it into the charger. Now let's just zoom down. Now, as you can see, I've got two chargers because Owen sent me one a while ago, which is wonderful. I don't know whether you can see, but that LED's on, and what happens is that light flashes, and then this one that goes on and that one flashes. And if you look at the legend down here, it shows, where are we, charging, red and red flashing. Let's just see if we can zoom down on that. There we are, the arrow charging, red and red flashing. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Can we see the, here we go, hopefully you can see that. That one's flashing, that one's on solid. Okay, great. So I came to charge it and these two were together, and I must have plugged it into this one. Now I don't know whether this is the one that I got from Owen or not. I haven't got a clue, but it's got splodges of paint on, but I can't remember. Anyway, what happened was, let me just disconnect that. You plug that one in here and the red light comes on and nothing else happens. Yeah, and here it says red light flashing and nothing on the bottom one. There's something wrong. I thought, oh good Lord, what have I done to my battery? Yep. So I sort of left it. And then I thought, oh, I've got another charger, let's try that one. And it worked. Now, this one, it got left to one side for a while, and then I thought I'd better do something about this or just move it on, because there's no point having something in the workshop that is non-repairable. Yeah, okay, you could drop this one and break the case, and therefore you can take the case off this one. Yeah, but how far do you go? So let's just zoom down a bit more. Let's just tidy a few wires up. That one can be unplugged. Okay, so here we go. I thought, right, let's have the back off. Where the screws, they're bound to be underneath the rubber feet. Bound to be. And the rubber feet are particularly difficult to remove. Yeah. I suppose they're quite good quality. They're not just glued on. They fit into a recess and they're sort of engineered. But that's what you'd expect from AEG. but there's something else that you wouldn't expect. But I've noticed it from equipment from this particular country. I've seen where that's gone. I know where it's gone. When I was doing the solar grid course in Brighton in, I think it was June, I borrowed 5 panels so we could set stuff up, and that meant I didn't have to bring 5 panels from here all the way down, and that was fine. And we were wiring it up, and there's 2 things. Again, it's from the same country as this, yeah, and I'm not going to go any further than that. The MC4 connectors that were on there were slightly modified so they wouldn't fit with any other MC4 connectors, which is like, oh, for crying out loud, grow up, huh? Yeah. And then the other thing was the positive one, which is normally the male, was actually on the negative. So not only had they made connectors really minutely different so they wouldn't fit with anything else, they put them the other way round. I mean, is that playground nonsense or what? Yeah, it makes me... I was doing some slight swearing under my breath, bearing in mind we had candidates with us. Now, these, right, okay, rant number 3. Those are the screws that I took out. You see there's a little pillar in the middle. Security screws. And you know how I feel about security screws, and the best thing to do with them is straight in the bin. Yeah, they're there to secure profits, nothing else. So I've replaced 2 of the screws. I didn't put the other 2 in. So there we go. So I'll get back to you in a moment. Okay, here we go. So I had a look at this and I couldn't find anything that was a bit peculiar or burnt or anything like that. I mean, it's quite nicely built, I suppose, really. It's not sort of all squashed together or anything. So I thought, Now I do remember that the stuff that Owen sent me. He sent me another one of these drills, which is great. But it was on nickel cadmium batteries. Now, interestingly, it had the same fittings as this. It wasn't like the old-fashioned one with a post sticking up. It was the same. And these chargers here say NiCad, nickel metal hydride or lithium ion. Okay, great. But the problem with nickel cadmium is they can, over a period of time, leak. So I thought, okay, I'm not seeing anything really disastrous here, and I was hoping that I could remove this cover here, but it's heat staked, or is it? No, it's heat staked of some form by the looks of it. So I'm thinking, right, now is it heat staked, or is it glued to prevent people? Actually, it looks like screws in there. So I'm just going to scrape that off and remove those screws, and then we can get this off. I'll tell you for why, because I want to inspect that. But in the interim, what I did do was I got a screwdriver, and all the connections are down there, and I cleaned them out. Right, we're going to have a zoom in, I think. So the connections are down in there. Your screwdriver needs to be clean, and clean. You can hear that one is really quite a bit corroded, whereas that one is fairly smooth, and is that one. So it's this one that was the bad one. So I actually cleaned it like that, and it helps with a screwdriver that's got the edge slightly graunched, if you know what graunched means. Anyway, I cleaned those and it worked. So there you go, as a sort of cautionary tale. But whilst we're here, let's try and just take that plastic off and have a look. This is bonus footage, really. So, yeah, they even glued the screws in. Right, so we finally got them out, and there's the cover. And if we look, we can see corrosion there. Yeah, so I'm going to clean those up, and then I'm going to put some battery terminal grease, just a small amount on there, and put it back together. So it just goes to show, if you only had one charger and you put a battery in there and it shows faulty, is the battery faulty or not? So what do we gain from this? Don't accept things at face value. So don't believe anything until proved. So with this unit, the battery was fine. Yeah. The charger was unable to charge because of some corrosion. So, you know, just because it's saying it's wrong doesn't mean it is. Let's have a discussion about this. Comments always welcome, and I will catch up with you soon. Cheers for now.